Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the HiFiMAN RE-400s. I'd like to thank Advanced MP3 Players for actually sending me these out for review. They can be found on their site for around £76, link will be in the description below. They can be also found on Amazon UK for around £50 and Amazon USA for $80. Due to the great differences in price, I'm just going to take the Advanced MP3 Players' suggested price of £76 and review it at that given price. I'd also like to say that in case you want more detail about the earphones, I highly suggest you check out my written review, which again will be in the description below, which goes into a lot more depth than this video review will do. So what do you get in the box? So you got a little manual over here, and you've got a carrying case. The carrying case is a nice solid carrying case, which is quite small. However, it's not something I would really put in my pocket due to its nature of it being hard, but it's quite nice to carry around in a bag if you so wish. And on top of that, you can put some tips in this little compartment here. Speaking about tips, you do get quite a large array of different tips, and you also get these little filters. The filters are essentially used for replacing little filters which are located over here. It's a very small thing to include, but it's very nice for them to include. This is because over time it might get a little bit dirty, or you might get some earwax on it, or whatever it might be, and the fact that you can actually just change it is really nice, and it's a little nice touch that the HiFiMAN have done. Other than that, that's all you get in the box next to the earphones. So let's go into the build quality. So first of all, these are terminated by a right-angled 3.5mm jack, which is gold-plated, and it's got a nice little strain relief. The jack itself is really well done. I actually quite like it as it's quite sturdy. The cable itself is sleeved, which isn't great in terms of my experience of earphones, simply because it does get tangled quite easily. On top of that, it also does create cable noise, which is microphonics. This is when you get sort of noise when the cable hits your shirt, for example. This can be completely eliminated when you wear the earphones over the ear, but when you wear them in their normal position, which is straight down, so for example your ears are like that and you put them down, the cable is running down your shirt, then it's going to cause a bit of microphonics, so do bear that in mind when if you're going to be purchasing them. Now the Y-split itself has a nice little touch. What I like about it is this cable management. It's a very small thing to add, but I just quite like it because it gives a nice sort of different sort of quality. The cable itself over here where the Y-split is completely different from the one that can be found near the jack. One is sleeved and the other one is sort of a plasticky material, so just bear that in mind. Again, the plasticky material is okay, but it does feel a little bit cheap when wearing them. Now the earphones themselves are very nice and they look very cool. I quite like their minimalistic design. They've got a left and right indicator over here that can be found on the strain relief, but apart from that they look very simplistic and very nice. In some respect it reminds me of like a classic car that can sit there in the background, looks nice and doesn't really have to say anything to look good. So it's really nice that they've had this sort of design implementation, and it's quite interesting to see it in ears, and its looks are to me very nice. Now due to their very small design, their isolation isn't great, so their passive noise cancellation isn't great just because of their physical size. They're small and therefore they don't block out much sound. That said, they do decently for in-ear earphones, but just bear in mind if you're going to be in a very noisy commute or a daily commute, you can use them in the road like I did, then they're not going to be blocking out that much sound, meaning you have to crank the music a bit louder, and therefore if you do it over time your hearing might be damaged, so just bear that in mind when purchasing them. Now the earphones themselves are extremely lightweight, and something that I really loved about them is their comfort. It's actually one of the most comfortable earphones I've come across, and kind of reminds me of the Audiophonak PFE 232s or the 112s or 111s. They were very comfortable earphones that I had previously reviewed, and these are very similar in that respect. They're very light and therefore sit very comfortably in your ears, and you can't really feel them. Be them if you're wearing them straight down or over the ear, they're very comfortable. This is also due to the fact they're lightweight and their construction being some sort of plastic material of some sort. However, due to this, it also caused a lot of problems in the sound quality department. Now the sound is something that I had read about online previously, seen a lot of hype about the RE-400s, oh these are the best buy at a certain price point or whatever it might be. but I can't see where they're coming from. I really cannot, because their sound isn't that good to me, especially their soundstage. The soundstage was really disappointing. In fact, it was really disappointing to the point that I felt they kind of ruined the total experience I had for the earphones. So the low end was disappointing. By that I mean the sub bass was pretty much non-existent. The mid bass was very, very faint and didn't really have any sort of emphasis or any sort of pronouncing any sort of power in that frequency range. The mids were very tamed. They felt they weren't really recessed as such, but nor were they very forward. They just felt kind of bland and sort of dull to listen to. Now, I've heard a lot of earphones, and especially ones which are neutral or flat sounding, and those gave more life than these would ever do. So in terms of their mids, they felt a little bit disappointing. The highs also were actually very disappointing as well. They didn't really extend, and nor did they give any sort of sparkle off, which was really disappointing because I was expecting some sort of a bit of excitement with these earphones. But unfortunately, that was not the case. They were very well, they're not exciting at all to listen to, and their highs didn't give off any sparkle, therefore wanting me to listen to any sort of music with them. Now, to round it all off, as I said, the soundstage is what was the thing that really disappointed me. The soundstage didn't have any depth, didn't have much width either, and combine that with the material choice, it's not wooden or any sort of a decent, like, good quality plastic or metal of any sort, then the percussions that were going in the earphones and the earphone housing itself weren't giving off a good impression. So the poor-ish sound quality in the lows, mids, and highs were not aided by the poor soundstage, which all coupled together came to me going, meh. They don't really sound that great. It was the first impression I had, even after burning them in for, God, over 100 hours or so. I still didn't feel that they were any sort of different from when I opened them out of the box. They still felt, they're a little bit boring, they have nothing going for them, and I want something more from them, especially at their £75, £76 price range, which at that range you can get a lot of good earphones. Just two that I've got in front of me are the FA Consonants, which can be quite hard to find, but these were originally £50, and I've got the Dunu Titan 1s, which I just recently reviewed. These are about £80–90, so a little bit more expensive, but the amount of sound quality you get from these is about 2 to 3 times better than the ones over here, and at the given price point differences, about £10, I would much rather get these any day of the week over them. So I don't know why the RE-400s were so overhyped. I guess maybe because in the US they're a little bit cheaper, but even at £53 I still struggle to actually recommend them due to its soundstage. I mean, if I compare it to other earphones like the Futuresonics MG7 drivers, the MG5s, they were amazing for their sub bass. They weren't great for their soundstage, and their mids felt a little bit recessed, but they had excellent highs and excellent sub bass, meaning audiophiles that, especially bass lovers, really loved the MG7 drivers. And in this respect, they came actually at £60, so they were cheaper than this, and they weren't as popular as the RE-400s were being overhyped on certain forums all over the net. So overall, all I can say is that I was really not impressed with the RE-400s. Their overall package is decent. I quite like that. Although it does feel a bit weird that I got this package and separately got the tips in a case, which it was a bit weird. It was almost like one wasn't designed for the other. But overall, I just can't really suggest them. I can't really go out and say to a friend, go and buy these earphones, they'll be great for you. I guess if you're in the US for £53 and there's nothing else better that's going around at the time, then potentially, but even then, I can think of the Klipsch S4s, which are much more exciting and much more revealing than these RE-400s ever will be. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you've enjoyed this honest review. If you have, make sure you give a like, comment, subscribe, favorite and share. And again, make sure you check out the links in the description below in case you're interested in buying or interested in reading a bit more. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed, and this has been the HiFiMAN RE-400s. Take care guys, bye bye.